YouTube channel, returning subscribers. Thank you so much for your continued support and encouragement. If you are new here, you are welcome to this family. My name is Judith. I'm based here in Thunder Bay, Ontario. And I love sharing about my journey, my experiences here in Canada ever since I moved, and how the journey is progressing. So if you feel like this is the kind of content that you might relate to, hit that subscribe button and remember to turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Otherwise, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I promised you guys that one day I'm going to come back and share with you my story of how I got promoted to the level of financial manager within 1 year of moving to Canada and within 1 year of holding a lower position in that same organization. So if you've been following my videos, I think you guys, you know already how I got my first job and the story about how when we came from the Congo, I never thought that I was going to find a job in my field, because back home I was working as an accountant. And when I moved to Canada, the story or the stereotype is that as immigrants, when you are coming in, you don't find your dream job, or it's difficult to find a job in your field. And when I came, that's the same story I got even from other people who've been here before and who've been in Canada for some time. So they told me, you know, when you're looking for a job, just go out there and look for something to do so that you step your foot like into the job market, and then that way you can build from there. So I never thought that I was going to find a job like a finance and accounting, a job that is related to my field. So when I was actually focusing on caregiving jobs, because according to my research and you know what I understood coming from Africa is that those are the easiest jobs to find, which proved difficult for me. And well, you know my story, how I got my job on Canada Indeed, like my first job. So if you didn't watch that video, guys, you need to go back and watch the video where I explain like how I got my first job here in Canada. Yeah, so I got my job and I was working. The title was, they called it bookkeeper or capacity financial builder, which is more or less like finance assistant, because I was working and I was assisting the finance manager by that time. And she was working towards retirement, because she kept on saying she was already tired and she wanted to reduce the responsibility. She didn't want to keep on, you know, working as a finance manager. So when I was hired to sort of assist her, but at the same time she was sort of going to train me, you know, the job, much of what she's doing, so that eventually when the company hires a finance manager, I was going to, of course, they would hire someone who's experienced, someone who comes with the qualifications they were looking for. Then I will already be assisting that person and, you know, trying to also show them around, like how things are done in the organization, because by that time maybe I'll have some experience. So that was the setting of my hiring process, like how I was hired. So I started working and I did everything I could to learn, because I was supposed to learn the job so that by the time someone comes in, I can be in a position at least to show them what is expected of them and everything. Not really as a finance manager, but they just wanted someone who will know their way around the organization, so that when this new person comes in, they will not be lost in the pack. So that was my position, and I put my focus and everything with a good attitude, very tolerant, patient, and, you know, just learning the job. And this lady that was working as a finance manager by then, she did 20 years in the organization. So this is someone who's very experienced. And yeah, I had to swallow my pride and just tell myself that I'm here to learn. And that's simply what I did. So about 1 year down the line, so I started working for this organization in April 2022. Then come November 2022, was it November 2022? Yes, November 2022. Then they started looking for a new finance manager because this lady had already indicated that she now wants to retire. So they posted the job just like what they do here in Canada. They went on Canada Indeed and they posted the job, and they were looking for a finance manager. They told us in the department that they are looking for a finance manager who would come and replace this other lady. And so I saw the posting, and they were looking for someone who is already designated as a CPA and with also a relevant, experience for the job. They were looking for someone with 5 or more years of experience working in the same position and everything. They listed the job requirements. So yeah, November they posted. That was beginning of November. December, they didn't find anyone yet. January, they didn't find anyone yet. And then one day I was talking to this other friend of mine, and I told her, they are looking for a finance manager at my organization there. But it seems like they are finding it difficult to hire someone with the right qualifications that they are looking for, and someone would come in and be a right fit. And my friend asked me, so did you apply? And I told him, no, I didn't apply because what they are looking for, the qualifications and everything, I just started working towards, getting my CPA. So, I don't qualify. So, I don't think they'll even consider me. Then my friend said, no, you need to. You've been doing this already for almost a year now. Come April, it will be 1 year. So you need, and what the finance manager was doing, because you were like the right hand man, you were working alongside her all this time. So you just need to go and tell them, if she continues to show me what to do, I think I can take up this responsibility. So I was skeptical, of course. Then one day I shared with my husband that, they are still advertising for that job and they haven't interviewed anyone yet. Don't you think it's a sign? Don't you think it's a sign that maybe this is my job, this is my position, and maybe God kept me in this place for such a time as this? So we discussed with my husband, and he said, you know what, just have courage and, approach the CEO and tell her that if they are willing to train you, because you have an advantage already, as much as you don't have your CPA, but you've been working all this time right under the finance manager. You know what she's doing, and whatever remains, if ever there's anything that she needs to train you, you convince them that I'm willing to learn on the job and take up the position. So it took some time of prayer, and also I don't want to lie, I was very hesitant because I just thought I'm not even qualified. I have less than a year working for this company, and that isn't that dreaming too big, like wanting to take up such a position. But I gathered courage and I requested for a meeting with the CEO. And I'm sure I don't think she never expected that I was going to say, I want to take up this position, I want to apply. Maybe she even thought maybe there's a problem in the finance department or something. I don't know what she thought, but I'm sure she never expected me to tell her that. So yeah, I requested a meeting and we met on Zoom. It was a Zoom meeting because she works remotely sometime. So we did a Zoom meeting, and that's when I told her, I've seen that for 3 months now. You've been advertising for this role and nothing has happened yet, and time is going and the finance manager wants to go, and I can see that it's becoming difficult for the finance department. So if the organization is willing to work with me, I'm willing to take up the position because I know a lot already. I'm coming with an added advantage. As much as I don't have my CPA, I'm working towards it, and I'm sure that I can do this job. So the CEO told me, well, yeah, I hear what you are saying, and but then it's not me, it's not my decision to make. We have an HR manager. So if you want to apply for this position, I've heard what you said, but I'm not going to make the decision alone. So you need to send your application. You can go ahead and apply, and then we'll sit down with the HR and other people in the management team, and we will see. We will consider your application. So that was the conversation I had with the CEO. It was a very good conversation. And she also told me that as much as we are going to consider your application, but we are going to keep looking. We are not going to stop looking for the person with the right qualifications that we are looking for. So that day after work, I went home and I wrote an application letter. I submitted my application, and now my application was under consideration. Well, that was a big step. And one other thing, during those 3 months when they put up the application, I took some course with some lady. She's a lady that we work with in my organization. So she offers these career courses, like if you want to find the right career, if you want to start your own business. So she offered this course to me for free because she wanted just to have a taste of how the course goes, like what was my experience with the course. So I took the course, and during my when I was taking that course, there's a lesson that she was giving about asking for what you want. Like, what is it that you want? You have to be bold enough, even if you are working in an organization, be bold enough to lay on the table what you want, what you are bringing to the table, and what you expect the organization, the kind of support that you want, so that you can be your best and you can be able to realize your full potential. So that lesson and that course also helped a lot because it gave me the push that I needed, that, unless I open my mouth and ask for what I want, and explain also the how valuable I am as a team member in this organization, then no one will ever know, and no one will ever recognize that you are capable of doing some things. Yeah, so that was it, and that was in January when I sat with the CEO and did this meeting. So from that time, then after I think some time, they came back to me and they told me, well, we have accepted your application. We are not going to do an interview for this new job. We've been working with you already. We know the kind of person that you are. We like your attitude and everything. So right now, let's just call it a time of training as we prepare you and train you so that you can take over the position when the finance manager eventually steps down. So that's how it started. And they told me we are going to look at February and March because that's the end of the fiscal year. So we are going to use these 2 months to assess and see how everything goes. If the finance manager is able to train you within those 2 months, then you'll be taking over in April. But then, yeah, because this is an organization also that is growing. So 2 months, they were not enough. And there was nothing written down. These were just meetings that we were doing. So from January, February, March, and then this went on, the training went on until September 2023. And there were times when sometimes I would think, are they ever going to, consider me? Or the other fear also that I had is they would find someone during that training process. But they committed verbally that we are now training you so you can take over. But there was no timeline as to when I was eventually going to take over. So that period also was a period of waiting patiently, and also I kept on working hard, showing a positive attitude, willingness to learn, and cooperating also with the finance manager who was training me, and just being humble enough to learn, and the willingness was there. So, and my CEO always told me that I like your attitude. So, guys, that saying is very important. That says attitude is a very small thing that makes a big difference. So your attitude matters when you are working. People look at what you do. Are you a team member? What are you bringing to the table? Do you cooperate with others? Are you tolerant? You know, all those things, people consider them. Yes. So eventually in September 2023, guys, the finance manager stepped down, and that's when they drew up a new contract for me, and that's how I took over. And starting from the 1st of October 2023, that's when I started working as a finance manager. So that was like after 1 year and some months of working for the organization and moving to Canada. The reason why I'm sharing my story and the reason why I'm sharing this is I want you to know that when you move to Canada or wherever it is that you go, but because here we talk about Canada, I want you guys to know that our stories are different. Yes, it's difficult to settle down. Yes, it's difficult to find that dream job. Yes, it's difficult to find a job in your field. But never rely on those stories, because our stories are different. Yours, it's unique because you are a unique person and you are a different individual altogether. So within a short period time of 2 years, so many positive things have happened. And the fact that when you are working for an organization, you are coming in, guys, as an immigrant. And one thing also that is very important for you guys to know is that when you are coming in as an immigrant, remember you are moving into a new place, a new environment, new systems. So sometimes you have to work twice extra hard compared to citizens or people who've been here in Canada for quite a long time, because you want to prove yourself that you are capable of doing what you say you can do. So if you don't show it, if you don't deliver it, if you don't commit, and if you don't work hard, then your potential will never be realized. So that's one thing that I've learned, that you have to work hard to prove yourself. Not necessarily to say that they don't consider your qualifications or your experience that you have, but you need to showcase the skills and experience that you say you have, so that your employer or the people that you are working for can have that confidence in you. So that's my story, guys, and I hope it inspires someone. So when coming in, it's very much possible for you to find a dream job. And I want to thank God, because yes, I know that there are people who have stories of how they struggle even to find their job, and how difficult it is also even to go up the corporate ladder, like in this part of the world. But it's possible, and it happens to people like me. So if it happened to me, it means it can happen to anyone else. Hope this inspires someone as you continue to pursue your journey to Canada. Be blessed, guys. See you in my next video.